Round number 7 kicks off on Thursday night when the Rabbitohs face the Dolphins. Looking forward to this game. Wayne Bennett, what can he do against his old club? It's a good round. It's a hard round. Let's get into my NRL Round 7 tips. Starting off with the South Sydney Rabbitohs heading to Suncorp Stadium to play the Dolphins. They're going to have a big crowd at this game for sure. Would not be surprised if Suncorp Stadium sells out. If this game was on Saturday, I think 100%. Being a Thursday, I still think you're going to get at least 35,000. There's going to be a big attendance for this game. But let's talk about the ins and outs. Alex Johnston is back for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Jai Arrow looks to be in as well. He's in jersey number 8. Blake Taff on the reserves. Tane Milne on the reserves as well. So that could be, that switch for Isaac Thompson, who's been named but still carrying an injury. And Tavita Totola is out. As for the Dolphins, what an impressive win last week against the Cowboys. Jared Wallace is out for them. Jack Bostock is in jersey number 21. Mason Teague in the reserve. Their bench, weird that their bench has number 10. Anyway, they must have made an early change already. But Ray Stone in 16, but starting with Herman Sasa dropping to the bench. Kurt Donahue once again on the bench. Look, Dolphins playing some really good footy. We tip against them and they seem to be winning on a regular occurrence. And look, they proved us wrong without halves. They played really well. As for the South Sydney Rabbitohs on that side, got the job done by 50 to 16 against the Bulldogs. Good Friday. Latrell Mitchell, it was a big game for him, being his 150th game as well. He's really fired up. But look, man, I think South Sydney's going to win this game. I think there'll be a lot of people. I think there'll be people that will tip South, and I think more people will than won't. There'll probably be the odd person tipping the upset of the Dolphins here, but I think South win this game. They probably could win it pretty comfortably. I'm going to go by 8. I'm going to go Rabbitohs by 8. I think it'll be fairly low scoring. I think the Dolphins can keep them to, under 30. So I'm going to go the Rabbitohs 22 to the Dolphins 14 in this game. South Sydney to win by 8 at Suncorp Stadium. And my first try scorer, look, I actually think with the home crowd, the firing up, I think the Dolphins score first. And what better way to do it than former South Sydney Rabbitoh Cody Nikorima to score the first try of the round on Thursday night. The next game is a fucking hard game to tip. It is the Sharks and the Roosters. Roosters have won 7 of their last straight against the Sharks, and I'm always tipping the Roosters without a doubt, without thinking. But I look at these lineups, man, and I'll tell you what, Dale Finucane, big out. Toby Rudolph, big out. You still got big bodies of Royce Hunt, Braden Hamlin-Uele. Still got Cameron McInnes. On the bench, Wade Graham, Oregon Kafusi's back, Thomas Hazelton, Jack William. As for the Roosters, massive in. James Tedesco's back. They did look very flat against the Melbourne Storm, and they aren't at home here, which worries me. Drew Hutchinson, Matt Lodge. So Matt Lodge back. Terrell May and Nafua White on the bench. Paul Momorowski in jersey 20. And Fletcher Baker out for the Roosters. Between these two sides right now, there isn't a great deal margin. And I know they have an awesome record against them, but I'm actually going to tip the Sharks here. The Sharks at home. Nico Hines is looking great. They're coming off a home loss against the Warriors. They'll be hurt by that. They'll be in front of the home fans. You know what? I'm going to go the Sharks by 1. I reckon it's going to be a very tight game, and I reckon it's going to be high scoring too. I'm going to go the Sharks to win 23 points to 22. And look, one of my best bets for the week, my first try scorer is going to be Sifa Talakai, and he's paying $3.60 to score at a try at any time. I reckon the Sharks can beat the Roosters on Friday night, and Talakai, first try scorer. The next game sees the Manly Sea Eagles at home, and look, they've been playing some very poor footy. Tom Trbojevic is named, but carrying an injury. We've seen it. Ruben Garrick is out, so Raymond Tuamola Vega for this game. Cooper Johns has been named in the 6. Josh Schuster, chance of returning in jersey number 22. Carl Lawton, Garrick out. As for the Storm, Nick Meaney has been ruled out, so Cameron Munster going back to fullback and Jonah Pezze in the 6 for this one. The Storm, they were clinical in their win against the Roosters. They look really good at home. Combinations gelling. Combinations going out the window here because you got Munster at fullback, but they still should be too good, man. Looking forward to the Battle of Brookvale. It's always an enjoyable game, but I think the Manly Seagulls, they're panic button right now. I think this is a must-win game for Manly, and if they win it, awesome. I think the season's back on track. But I am going to go the Storm here, and I'm going to go the Storm by 16. I think they've shown more than Manly have in recent weeks, especially Harry Grant has been outstanding. He's leading the Dally M for a reason. So I'm going to take Will Warbrick, first try scorer. I'm going to go that right wing, Will Warbrick to score first. The Storm are paying $1.90 to cover a line of 4.5. I think they can cover that line. I do. I think it's a nice team on paper. I think Melbourne will be too good for the Sea Eagles at the Battle of Brookie on Friday night. 8 o'clock Saturday, very hard game to tip. It is the Warriors against the Cowboys. Now, at Townsville, the Warriors beat the Cowboys 13+ in one of the biggest upsets of the season. Seen how good they can play. They weren't able to get the job done against the Knights, but they still scored plenty of points. So, look, they are a very second-half team. And it worries me because if they don't start well, the Cowboys could run over the top of them. As for the Cowboys, Murray Taulagi is back. That's a really big in for this game. And I think it's really a coin flip here. I really do. Griffin Neem is out. Jeremiah Nanai is also back for the Cowboys. Oh, man, this is hard. I was going into this game and I was like, I think the Warriors can win it. No Wade Egan, no Tamari Martin. It's going to be freaking tough, man. Freddie Lussick at hooker. Dylan Walker in the 6. I think at home they'll be too good. I think at home the Cowboys can win this. I am very, very nervous about tipping the Warriors here based on this Cowboys team lineup. I'm going to go the Warriors at home by 4. I'm going to go 20 points to 16. I think the Cowboys can improve their defense. It hasn't been great. With some of these names back, I think they're going to be much better. I tell you what, man, this is probably, with this lineup, the hardest game I've had to tip in a long time. But I'm going to side with the home team, the New Zealand Warriors. They've been triumphant this season. I'm going to go the Warriors by 4. And my first try scorer, I think the Cowboys score first. Once again, just like Nicarima, former Clark, or I think, no, actually, Chad didn't play for, oh, he did play for the Warriors, I think, for a bit. Chad Townsend, I think it was a loan deal. I got a feeling he played. Chad Townsend, first try scorer, but I reckon the Warriors just... The next game is an interesting game because the Newcastle Knights, a lot of expectation for them to be bottom 4 at the start of the season. They're now sitting inside the top 8. They're playing some really good footy, man. They are playing the Penrith Panthers, the benchmark to some people at the competition. The Panthers, man, they have come out of nowhere. They were winning games early on, but they weren't winning by great margins. And now they're putting on some huge margins in recent weeks. They've made their for and against so good that they are now a top 2 team. So they head to Newcastle Saturday 5:30. As for the Panthers, they look pretty unchanged. Liam Martin named in jersey number 20. As for the Knights, Jaden Brayley, his season is over, which is just devastating. Once again, that ACL, just like Adam Dewey, it really sucks to see. As I said, the Knights, they're showing heart. Can they compete against this Penrith side? I don't think Penrith are all that great. I think teams are really struggling defensively against them, though, and they do have that firepower. And I think there's still some players from Penrith like Dylan Edwards, Isaac Targo, who are really playing well. So look, I think Penrith win this, and I think it will be close for the most part, but I think Penrith will run away with it like they have been doing, but not as much. I reckon Penrith will win 32-14, so I'm going to go the Panthers by 18. I think they will be too good, as I said, but I reckon to be honest, I reckon the Panthers could lead by about 4 at halftime. I think this game is really close. And the Knights could show some fight to start, but just can't get on with it. And I reckon Scott Sorensen, he's in some try-scoring form. Scott Sorensen, first try scorer, and Penrith to win at McDonald Jones Stadium. Got on Saturday night the Gold Coast Titans and the Brisbane Broncos, a little brother versus big brother rivalry, and this season the Titans have shown a lot of heart. They got the job done against the Dragons, and I'll tell you what, it felt like I was watching Magic Round all over again. The Broncos were handed their first loss of the season by the Raiders last week. Controversial call towards the end of the game, but the Raiders were the better team. If Broncos fans want to argue with me that they think their team was better, next joke, please. But as for this game, for the Titans, Toby Sexton is out, which means that Kieran Foran is back into the side. Jojo Fafita is a chance of returning in jersey number 19. Who does he push out, though? Like, who does he push out? I guess Brian Kelly, but he's playing well. Khan Pereira, Philip Sami, because Jojo Fafita probably prefers that wing spot. It's interesting. It really is. What this team has too many, talented players. Thomas Flegler is out for the Broncos, so Corey Jensen is in jersey number 8. Look, man, I'm going to go the Broncos here. I think the Broncos have to bounce back. I know the Titans have been playing some good footy. I know I should have tipped them last week, but I think the Broncos by 8. I do think this will be a tight contest. I think there'll be people tipping the Broncos 13+, and I could see it, but I think the Titans at home could really, really fire up for this contest. So 26-18 is going to be my scoreline, and my first try scorer for the Broncos is going to be Katoni Stagg. Next up, we've got the Raiders and the Dragons in Canberra. This is always a really, really tight contest. As for the Raiders, both Jack Whiten, Jamal Fogarty are back for this game. That's some big ins. And then you've got Jordan Rapana out, Francis Molo and Ravalawa out for the Dragons. So on the wing is Moga. And then the other spot is Josh Kerr and Zane Musgrove in the side. Look, the Dragons put up a fight against the Titans, and they looked to get the job done. But as I said, felt like Magic Round all over again. If you got on the Titans, they were $9.50 in the final minutes of that game. But, Raiders, they're coming off a win. They are at home here. They've got a nice lineup for the most part, and I'm going to tip them. I'm going to tip the Raiders here against the Dragons. I think the Raiders will be too good at home. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. I get the feeling that I was going to actually say 14-12, Raiders by 2. Based on that lineup, though, I think they can do a bit better. So I'm going to go 20-12 to the Raiders with Matt Tomoko, first try scorer. So the Raiders by 8. And I'm backing the Raiders -6.5 at $1.90 as my second best bet for the week. And the last game of the round sees my Parramatta Eels at 4 o'clock back at home against the Bulldogs. A game I've really been looking forward to. Reid Marnie going up against his old club. Tavita Pangai Jr., his first game, I think, for the season, or at least round 1 for the Bulldogs. Harrison Edwards, Addo Carr, Curtis Morin, all out for them, some big outs. Viliami Kickout is in for the Bulldogs, so looking forward to seeing him for the first time in those Bulldogs colours play. And then as for the Parramatta Eel, Wonga Blake has been named on the reserve. Jack Murchie has been dropped to the reserves. Wumu Greg is on the interchange instead of the starting side because Junior Paulo's back. I don't know how I feel about that because I'll tell you what, I still think Matt Dury getting jersey number 19 is a rough call. Just my opinion. We were not great against the Tigers. And if we play like that, the Dogs are going to get us here. This is a rivalry game. This is Reid Marnie's first game against his old club. This is a game that I have circled as we've got to win from the start of the year to prove a point and to shut some of the fans up as well. So, look, I'm going to go the Parramatta Eels here. I am going to tip Parra by 6. I know you're all thinking Parramatta should win this 13+, and they should. They're at home. They should win comfortably. They've put some scores on the Bulldogs in recent years, but even without some of their forwards, they can still show a lot of heart. As I said, it's a rivalry game. Form seems to go out the window. Both of these teams are quite out of form as well, but I'm going to go the Eels by 6. I'm going to go 22-16, and I'm going to go Mitchell Moses to score the first try. I'm really looking forward to welcoming Reed back at home. So best bets for the week, guys. I'm taking Talakai anytime try scorer, the Storm -4, and the Raiders -6. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, let me know your tips in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.